Welcome to Northside Now. This is Glenn.
And this is Patrick.
It is good to see you all here this morning. And
Merry almost Christmas, everybody.
Merry almost Christmas for sure. I'll tell you what, looking at Christmas this year, I've been very, very detailed into looking at just some of the side stories. And to think about Simeon, who's been sitting there looking, waiting.
Yeah, I have trouble waiting.
I know.
I get impatient.
Man, they were so anxious to see the Messiah. They were so ready for Jesus to be there. I mean, he was even like, I'm ready to, you can bring me home now. So good. I hope as you are all listening and you're walking towards Christmas, we're almost there. I hope that you are looking at these stories and paying really close attention to all the characters and not just, and Mary and Joseph went home to bear their baby,
Just, don't get me wrong, that part's important too.
It is, but they get so stuck in just the same old story. So hopefully you're having a great time and a great experience, but really enjoying the sweet pieces of the Christmas story as we've had time to slow down and really look at the birth of Jesus.
Very true.
Very true. Kind of interesting. Well, it is good to see everyone this morning or evening. Who knows when you're listening to this? Why do I say morning? It's not even morning.
Could be driving home.
Could be driving home.
Never know.
You could be
on the way to work, on the way home from work.
You could be asleep right now in the middle of the night.
If you're listening to this while you're sleeping, I hope this is soothing.
I hope it is too. That'd be awesome. Hey, we do have some wonderful guests today, and we're going to just start off with them right now because you found out here at church, it'll be about a week or so ago, about a capital campaign that we have coming up, and we have Ben Ferguson and Pastor Don with us this today. So thank y'all for being here, and we're going to be talking about Free for Christ's mission, and so. Pastor Don, I'm going to turn this to you first. What's the purpose of doing this campaign right now?
Well, we're at a really special time in the life of the church. God's blessed us for all these 61 years, and then this last year has you talk about new beginnings and challenges and wonderful opportunities. We've had it as we left the United Methodist Church. Because of how all that's set up, we had to reach an agreement with them about paying a settlement, and that is $675,000. And then we still owe a good bit on Hope Hall. And as we had a team that met, we said, this is a time for us to get the debt out of the way so the church can be free for Christ's mission. And all those funds that have been going toward those kind of things, the church can then start to dream and vision, how does Christ want this to be used to touch more lives? So and this is the time we need to get that done.
Yeah. Ben, you're the face that we saw on the video that Patrick put together, did a great job on, but you were that face, you're the guy.
Yeah, I thought Patrick did a great job for what he had to work with. That was pretty tough.
Stop. You're making me blush.
Yes, he did a great job, and we appreciate you and thank you, Ben, for being willing to help see this through and kind of head this up. And from your point of view, why are you a part of this? What's important for you to be a piece of this and to lead the team like this?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think as in church leadership, I felt like this was one of the areas where I felt like I could contribute. And as we looked at the task ahead of us of setting up Northside Church and moving forward, not only as an organization, but in the path of Christ's mission, I think the last year has given us that opportunity to be free to focus on that mission without distraction from the conference or other things. COVID obviously brought one more distraction to that process, but the other piece is just thinking through. I was fortunate to grow up in this church. I had a great uncle that was a founding member of the church, and have watched this church intersect in my life and the life of many of my friends and family for decades now. Yeah. And as we set up this new entity of Northside Church, while we carry on the same mission of Christ, I think it's important for those of us that are here now to set that same strong foundation that the people did so many years ago. And to do that, requires us to be thoughtful in terms of what is facing this church, not only this year with COVID, but in the years to come. How will we prepare the church so that it can deliver on Christ's mission in good times and in bad times, in financial straits or in other things that are going on in the world around us.
Sure. Pastor Don, let me ask you a tough question, and we we may have to cut this one out. But with COVID and everything else that has happened, does Christ's mission change from this point forward for Northside?
Well, Christ's mission never changes, but the way that it's lived out, we've been in the middle, before COVID, how church reaches the world was already changing drastically.
Yeah.
You know that from youth ministry. I mean,
exactly.
Get them pizza and have a gym and they'll all come. That day's gone.
Yep.
And that's true about people gathering in buildings. So we're in the middle of this really monumental change about what it means to be the church. And COVID just accelerated all of that. And it's going to be important for this church to financially be at a place where whatever it looks like to share Christ with the world, that we're ready to do that. I don't know buildings will be as important, though they're always going to be training places. And I think we're blessed with we did not build a monstrous, elaborate facility. We built a facility that allows us to train and to gather and do things, also to minister to the community and allow community things. Now the focus becomes, as we get on the other side of any indebtedness, how do we take all of that and propel ourselves out into the world? And I believe that Patrick's generation, your generation, are going to be much more send us out to get our hands in mission with Christ rather than just come and stuff our heads with all this information about Christ. Let us teach us about Christ, but let us go out and be Christ. And quite honestly, I've always been one of those, I guess I'm way ahead because I fit much better into that. Let's go out and do it. That's always what excites me. It's a different world, and nobody yet knows just what the church looks like on the other side of COVID, but we're trying to get ourselves positioned so that whatever that looks like, we can be on the cutting edge of formulating ourselves as a church for the next generations. The generations before you, those founding people, they helped this church formulate itself to reach people for Christ the way it could be done then. And they've also been people who've been willing to learn and grow and let my generation come and help interpret. And what's exciting to me now is to see really all of you. You're a little older than me.
Just a little older.
To see this younger generation stepping up and saying, we want Northside to be the church for our time and our children. So all of that ought to be pretty exciting to everyone.
Yeah. In a lot of ways, it's Simeon looking at that baby with those eyes, those eyes that have longed for so long, and now we can really get after it. That's some cool stuff. That's really, really exciting stuff. So Ben, how do we participate as church members or those who are a part of the Northside family or love Northside? How do we participate in Free for Christ mission?
Sure. So I think it goes back to Don's point, is that we've got to reach all the generations within our church. And we tried to do so in terms of the campaign as well. And so a couple different ways. There's two main concepts that we want to hit on. One is that we, as a new church, we still need to figure out what our annual budget's going to look like going into 2021. So historically, we've always done a pledge drive. That's still a part of this. But again, we're doing Free for Christ mission with a very specific purpose to retire the debt on Hope Hall, but also to pay off the conference settlement. To do that, you should, in the mail this week, went out a packet that will include a normal pledge card that you're used to seeing. There'll be two areas to pledge, one for the normal annual tithing, but then second for the Free for Christ mission campaign. Secondly, there's an online pledge form that you can reach on the church website. And then lastly, if you're going to service on Facebook, we're typically putting posts out during the service so that you can click on a link and that'll take you to the online pledge. Once you've decided on and kind of prayerfully considered what your family's willing and able to do, you can pledge, or you can go ahead and set up your giving. So we now have automatic drafting via the church website as well. And so if you want to set it up and set a monthly or quarterly or annual amount, you can go out there, do that on the website, and you don't have to remember to bring it to church every Sunday or in this environment when you may be watching from home.
Sure.
It gives you a way to do that on a consistent basis.
So I can go ahead and start now. I don't have to wait for a specific date.
Absolutely.
That's correct.
Absolutely.
Good. So Patrick, you have set up these things onto the website, and they're easy to find. And
Oh yeah, very easy. Just go to the homepage and click on the Give tab, and it'll take you right to where you can pledge or you can give right there. So it's very easy to get to.
And I'm looking at this right now on the computer, and yeah, I can do this.
You can do this.
I can do this. This is incredible.
Even Glenn can do
I
that.
know.
Hey, if Glenn can do it, anybody can do it. Okay, no excuses.
That's right. I can do this. I just learned the other day how to do my VCR.
Oh wow, you're about 30 years too late.
I was wondering why I couldn't find anything to show on it, but no, I'm just kidding. So, yes, this is very easy to do, and it's just very user friendly. To use the terminology of today, very user friendly. So, so we appreciate that. Yes, that is good. So this is tithing, or this is above and beyond our tithing, correct?
Correct.
Right.
So Pastor Don, how does, I guess, we grew up in the old time in the church, got to give my 10%, and that's biblical and stuff. So how do you suggest that, trying to decide for my family what I can get? I mean, I just need to listen to the Spirit and see what I need to give to the church for these specific things. Because we have ministry that goes on daily in this pile, and we have ministry that we're looking to go do tomorrow in this pile. So how does that work for our family?
Ben talked about the fact, we have to meet our yearly budget, or if all we do is switch over and start giving toward Free for Christ mission, then we aren't able to do the mission that we're already doing. So this is above and beyond. Ben, what's your statement? Not equal giving, but equal sacrifice, I believe. And it's a time to be sacrificial. That's what we've already done that, but we sat down and we said, okay, given where we are, what God has in front of us, we will give what we've always given to the church in terms of our tithe, but what can we do above and beyond that? It's kind of like when we want to get something new, we sit down and we figure out how we can do that.
Yeah.
It's like, is this worth the church being free to be the missional church it's called to be? And for us, it was very well worth that, because we've benefited from it. Our son Stephen had a fantastic experience being part of this church, and it's sometimes you are part of something that makes a big difference in the world, and you have this kairos moment where you get to participate in doing it. And some people can give 100,000. We have folks on fixed incomes that may do well to give 150.
Yeah.
But the truth is, those are equal in God's eyes, because when we put all of that together, my experience these 20 years is it's always been just what we need to do to be where God wants us. And again, you're looking at 3 years. So hopefully in 3 years' time, you're having a podcast celebrating the fact that now we just get to let our ministry team start dreaming about where God's calling us 3 years down the road in ministry to Jackson and beyond.
Yeah, that would be great.
But this is above and beyond. There are just times we dig in, and we did have some pause because with COVID, and we know some have had difficult times. So you might have been, before COVID hit your business, able to do much more. Please don't feel badly about that. Do what you can. It may be after COVID before you can really start filling out whatever commitment you feel called to make. So we understand all of that. There's this little thing, we have to pay the conference. That's not an option. The debt we could just keep paying monthly, but as the team met, and there were a lot of these younger folks that said, no, we need to retire that too. We need to get out of debt. And I just think it's one of those wonderful moments in the life of the church. We've got a new beginning, and the possibilities on the other side of this debt are even greater than the possibilities are right now.
Yeah.
And do hear me, it's not like we aren't doing anything significant in ministry now, but you're talking you're talking $400,000 that will suddenly be turned around and be free to go toward missional outreaches. That's a good thing.
That's pretty significant. Yeah.
Yeah. Some crazy, amazing stuff with that kind of money. Now, Ben, I was giving you a hard time about the video because you said that people could give cash and then give online. There's all these different, and then you threw in these cars
and small children.
And well, no, you didn't do that one. But I was cars, and I was like,
goats, chickens, whatever.
Yeah. Hey, in Africa, that is really what happens. And that's pretty cool too. I've seen chickens donated. That's pretty neat. But you started mentioning cars, and you said it could be used for ministries. And I mean, the staff was like, let's get an RV,
I thought Steve Little ought to probably donate that Corvette. You need that.
That is great.
The kids' mission. I mean, I think that's.
We could take turns taking that to lunch, every day.
It's only fair.
We could, get a Northside Church logo across it and just drive it around town.
I'd ask Steve to prayerfully consider that.
Yes. But please explain to us, how does this work? I mean, I think we get the cash, and I think we get the online giving. I mean, I think we get that part, but that's something new for us, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times you may have assets or things that you have access to that aren't providing value in your life, but ultimately can be turned into value for nonprofits. Mm-hmm. And so you may have property, vehicles. You may have a vehicle that you've held on to for 20 years that may not even run, and it may be just sitting in the garage. That's something that potentially could be used in ministry. If it can't be, there's always scrap value, there's trade-in value, there's ways that value can be taken out of that. And even in businesses, you may have assets on your books that you've fully depreciated, that if you sell or do something, you're going to have to effectively pay taxes on that. If you donate it to a nonprofit or to the church, it's, that's a value that you're not getting taxed on, and potentially reduces your tax bill at the end of the year as well. So there's things you can do there. I think this year, I think it's worth mentioning that there were some things done in Congress that may enhance your tax benefit of giving this year, and I'd encourage people to talk with their tax professionals to find out if that does make sense for them. I know everybody can deduct, I believe, up to $300 this year through the CARES Act. But then some people may find that there's a bigger advantage to giving in a more substantial way in 2020 this year. So that's. And then there's always stock, is something that we mentioned. And again, for those that have retirement accounts and things like that, I'd encourage them to talk to their tax and financial professionals, because there's ways to donate their stock that's advantageous to them as well.
That's great.
And when we built Hope Hall, we had someone who gave 5 acres, and then that land was sold. And when I came, the sanctuary had already been built, but of course we were still in the process of collecting all of the giving and paying that off, and someone had actually given a lot in Florida as part of theirs, and we got that lot sold and got the proceeds from that. So
now, was that lot on the beach? Like, did Northside almost have a beach house?
I never got to go see, Pat. I doubted it. Didn't bring in quite that amount of money, but
if you want to go on your beach vacation and still go to church,
it's so there. If whatever assets you have that can be given, that can then be turned into a way to help pay this. It's however God has brought you to the point to give. We're willing to look at how that can be done.
Wonderful. Well, anything else you guys want to share with us right now? Because what we would like to do is definitely have you guys back a few moments down the road and give us a report on and help us, if there's anything else we can do as a congregation to be aware or help. And so thank you for coming in. But is there anything else that y'all think would be pertinent that we haven't? Again, watch the video. The video is up on our social media sites.
It's on YouTube. It's been shared on Facebook and all that. So.
And all of that, and on our webpage, very well explained. And if you have questions, you can call and get in touch with Pastor Don or with Ben Ferguson, and call here, and we can help you get in touch with them if you don't know how. And that would be great. So thank y'all for helping to try to make us free for Christ's mission.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us on.
That's a big deal. That's a big deal. Well, Patrick, I think we have a few more things coming our way before we get to Christmas. What do you have on your list?
Well, hey, how much fun was Jingle Jam on Sunday? Wasn't that a blast?
I tell you what, I enjoyed that so much. I felt like I just
got
was
me
sitting there
in the holiday spirit.
I mean, you felt like you were just
songs.
I went home and made a jam sandwich.
Hey,
yeah. Ooh, jam sandwich. Next year after COVID, we can have hot chocolate and jam sandwiches.
ooh, I'm not mad at that.
Because hopefully you caught it online on the Facebook page because it was live streamed, and hopefully you enjoyed it as much as home. I mean, last week we were talking about, like, we want to hear you singing so loud that, the neighbors get disturbed.
Yep.
They're like, what are the Griswolds doing next door? And that would be pretty fun. So yes, Jingle Jam was great. Thank y'all. I mean, thank that group for doing that. And man, you put in a lot of work.
The 9 o'clock worship team, they wanted to give back, and this is their way of doing that.
Yeah, really cool. So send our thanks to them as well.
Definitely.
So what else? What else is on our list?
Well, the Christmas Mission Mart is still going until the end of the week, until Friday. So you have Friday. You can come up to the office and take care of that here at the church on campus. And yes, the deadline is Friday, so you've got till Friday to get those.
It's just a couple of days away, so we need to make sure that we finish that and get those gifts out there, because that's a really special blessing. I know Pastor Don's still here, and I know I get those gifts a lot as being on staff with the youth, and I know you get them as well, and they're really special gifts.
Those are the best kind of Christmas gifts.
Yeah, they're pretty fun. That's pretty cool. So yeah, get that done. And what else?
If you're one of our young kids in the Joy group, our just older youth, that's 55 and up, Thursday, Dr. Thierfelder from Union is coming in to talk about understanding COVID. And we're not going to be live streaming that, but Gary's going to try to set up a Zoom. So
Yeah.
we'll find out more information on that.
Yeah, so if
Try to
you
get
are
that out to everybody.
Exactly. If you are not able to get out yet, and make sure you get in touch with Gary, and he can help you set out. And I'm sure he'll be sending that out if he hasn't already. So
And that's at 2:00 on Thursday
all right, great.
in Hope Hall.
And then we announced yesterday that we are having Christmas Eve services, and hopefully everybody got that announcement, or we're starting to hear that. So between you and Pastor Don, can y'all tell us about Christmas Eve services?
Well, we're doing it a little different this year, just because of COVID and regulations, all that.
Yeah.
We're going to be having 3 Christmas Eve services at 3:00, 5:00, and 7:00. Mm-hmm. You can go to eventbrite.com, and I'll have all the links up on social media, on the website, all that, for you to follow. And you can go and you can register for which service, because we can only have 150 people at each service.
Okay.
We're also going to be live streaming, so if you don't get registered in time, then, or if you just prefer to stay home, you can watch.
Will you be live streaming all 3 of the services, or just one of them?
We're going to be live streaming the 5:00 and the 7:00.
The 5:00 and 7:00.
Yep.
All right. Pastor Don, how many conversations did you have trying to make this decision on this?
Oh, my goodness. I remember a day when you could just say, let's do this, and you go do it. And now it's like, but what about this and this? With the staff and with all the leadership in the church, and Dean Curry and other medical people that have been so good to help us think through, so that we aren't just living out of fear, we're going ahead and doing, but we are being careful, because COVID is, spreading pretty quickly, and the hospital's about overwhelmed. But the joy is that we're finding ways to go ahead and do these things. And what I heard from everybody several weeks ago is, please don't cancel Christmas Eve. And I'm like, I don't want to be the Grinch. So in conversations, we saw, we can do this safely.
Yeah.
I've had several people in the community in the health field brag on how our church has gone ahead and done what we need to do, but we've tried to be careful and keep people as safe as possible. So we're lots of conversations, but please, Jesus, let us have the Christmas Eve services.
Yeah. And if you have any questions or trouble or anything trying to get in, you shouldn't, because it's set up and it's pretty easy to use for sure. Definitely give a call to the church office and ask to speak to Patrick, and he can help you do that, because we definitely want everyone that feels safe can come in to there, be there, and to go ahead and it's free. It doesn't cost. That just tells us how many are coming. And once a service is full, Patrick, what kind of message will they get?
It'll just say that it's full, and they won't be able to register for that particular service.
And you'll have to pick another.
You'll either have to pick another or
watch
tune in online. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's okay.
And should we quickly fill up 3, we'll do a 9 o'clock one.
Oh, now see.
Now we're at
that would be
We'll make it
wonderful.
happen. But there will not be, that option will not be there until it's absolutely necessary, because we hate for just 4 people to come at 9 and ask all these folks who've been there all day practically. One of the joys is all of our musicians and singers have said, we'll come do whatever it takes to make this happen. So everybody's heart really wants this celebration of Christ to go on. So we're excited about it.
Well, good. Well, in a church, in a place, in a season when we are on the go all the time, and our normal is, how many, last year, how many Christmas parties did you attend?
I went to 17 Christmas parties. I've been to none.
Yeah, it's hard this year.
I have not had a sausage ball yet.
Oh, that sounds like a challenge to bring some sausage balls.
I know what I'm bringing to our staff Christmas party.
So
it's been very different.
Yeah, it's been different. So this is the one thing, this is something that is such a great family event at Northside and longstanding. So hopefully we can all make it out and be a part of the Christmas Eve services, or maybe your family needs to gather around the TV and do that at home, but we can be together and put together through the Holy Spirit and celebrate Christmas that way, and we are looking forward to that opportunity. So thank you. We got a lot of cool stuff coming up.
Yeah, always.
And then 2021 comes, and
who knows what that's going to look like?
Who knows what that's going to look like? So, like they say, just grab a hold of the reins a little tighter and just hang on for the ride. It's going to be wild. It's going to be wild. Well, thanks for joining us at Northside Now. It has been a great deal. Thanks to Ben Ferguson and Pastor Don Thrasher for coming in and being with us. We are glad to have y'all and look forward to y'all coming back with some really great reports. And for now, this is Glenn.
And this is Patrick.
And we'll see you soon.